Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're here with Toyota. We get to take a look at the all-new 2025 Toyota Sienna. This is the Platinum all-wheel drive model, finished off in a new color as well. This is magnetic gray metallic. MSRP is just shy of $60,000. Now for this model too, you also get the fridge box as well as the vacuum, which we'll show in today's video. So let's start off with what this is powered by, which is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with the hybrid. It's paired to the electronically controlled CVT, and it pumps out 245 horsepower combined, 176 pound-feet of torque. Now this model is all-wheel drive. It weighs in around 4,600 pounds. You'll expect to see 0 to 60 around 7.5 seconds. It also has a top speed of 117 miles an hour. Now it runs off an 18-gallon fuel tank. For the all-wheel drive version, you'll expect to see around 34 miles per gallon in the city, 36 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 120.5 inches. Its overall length is 204.1. It has a width of 78.5, a height of 69.7, and its ground clearance measures in at 6.3 inches. Now as we work our way to the exterior styling for this Sienna, you'll notice first off, we have the Toyota badge, which is also the sensor for the distance pacing, but you'll notice the blue outlining indicating that this is a hybrid model. It's also nicely integrated into this gloss black trim accent that leads on to the brushed aluminum accents, and then we have LEDs for all of the lighting up front with a nice thin housing to match that upper section. Underneath that, very large grille. There's also parking sensors, a forward-facing camera for the added visibility, and then plenty of cutouts, some more of the brushed accents. This model is also equipped with fog lights, so those are down below with more of that brushed aluminum. And then we have a nice lower section of the bumper here to finish it off nicely. Now as we work our way to the side for this Platinum model, this gets a really nice set of wheels. Take a look at this texturized design. So they're gloss black, and then we have these outlines for all of the spokes. Really nice integration to see. Now this model is also equipped with the 360 camera system. So you get a camera on the side mirrors along with the turn signal. They're body colored, of course. And then there's also a sunroof up top, and we have the roof racks for this model, as well as some more chrome accents for the entire window trim. Now in the lower section, there's gloss black. If you zoom in underneath, directly underneath this driver door handle, you'll notice there's a logo here indicating a sensor. So with the key fob in my pocket, I can just kick underneath that, and it's going to open up that rear door. So if you have your hands full, if you have a bunch of kids with you, simply just kick it, you can open the door. You also have multiple different ways to do this. You can use the buttons on the key fob, you can push on this button, you can also pull the door handle itself to open it. So very nice, just depending on how you need to do that for the day. For the rest of the side design, it has a great look to it. Really nice edges here, which look well, especially with the door being able to slide back. We have a great integration there. And then in back, we have that spoiler with the third brake light. It's actually behind the glass here, which is interesting. So it's not on the back of the spoiler itself. Wiper blade is in the lower section. There's a dark housing here for the outer surround for those LED taillights. You get a backup camera. All the parking sensors are in the gloss black. There's more brushed aluminum, and you can also tow right around 3,500 pounds with this minivan. So if you have some smaller trailers, you can do that if you would like. Now as we work our way to the rear cargo space, you have a lot of different ways to open up the power liftgate. You can use that button. You have the hands-free option, and then of course you have the key fob, which you can use too. Now with this minivan, you have a 3-row. So currently the 3rd row is tucked away nicely. So you have a flat area here. You can place some larger items. You have the storage bin on the left side. You also have 2 1,500-watt inverters in this model. So you get one in the back here that you can use, and then there's one located up front. Now in order to pop these seats up, simply just pull on these tabs here. You can lock the seat into place where you could keep it folded like that if you needed to, or you can go a step further and pull on this strap. These seats do recline as well, so that way you can get really comfortable in the back seat here. Take a look now with these seats out how much storage you have. You have a pretty deep area where you could place some large and tall items if you needed to. And then up top, you have the button to close that liftgate and lock it as well. Now as we work our way to the 2nd and 3rd row, this is really where you want to be for this minivan. This is a vehicle that you can basically get chauffeured around in if you would like. With this Platinum Model 2, take a look at the captain's chairs where you have the adjustable armrests on both sides, and you do have several adjustments here. You actually have this here where you can pull up the leg rest, and then if I pull on this recline bar, you can pop that up and just get nice and comfortable in your mini recliner. You can tuck that away nicely, and then you can also move this seat. So if you need more legroom in the back or more storage, or you want to go all the way almost into the third row and kind of spread out a little bit, you have several different options to go with. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we have that cooled box as well as the vacuum. So take a look in the middle where you have 2 cup holders in the front. You get some storage on the top here, but this is actually a tray that you can open up, where currently there are 6 water bottles stored in this area. They're all cool at the moment, which is really nice. So you have a great spot for that. Underneath that, you have this wood trim. There's the HDMI, 2 USB-Cs, and then you have 2 settings for that fridge, so you can use those as needed. And then we have power to the vacuum. So let's clean this up a little bit. And just like that, I believe the tray underneath that is where you collect everything to dump it. So it's located in a really nice spot. Now, also for this model, you get the adjustable sunshade, so we can keep that sun off of me at the moment. You have your window control, and then you have a release here to open the door, as well as the power button. So you can push on that and the door will open. Now with that HDMI cable, that is for this DVD player or the screen up top, where you can use that to watch movies, anything that you would like to hook up to that. And then we have all the adjustments. You get heated captain's chairs for the second row, and then we have all the temperature adjustments, fan speed, where you'd like the air to go. There's even vents up top there. So the second row is really where you'd like to be. Let's hop into the third row now, where we can fold that seat up slightly, and at 5'10", that gives me enough access into the back, where we have the bench style seat for 3 people to be back here. Now we do have some volume hookups here where you could place some headphones if you would like to. So it's nice that we have that along with the audio adjustment or the volume there. We also have sunshades for the third row. There's climate vents up top. And then over on this right side, you have even more USB-Cs along with the volume there. So it's nice to see that. You have a good bit of space too. I have about an inch and a half of headroom here. So, and then you'll notice too, you even have a spot where you can place drinks or any other items on the sides of the seat. So really nice place to be. And then we can easily hop out and then slide the seat back into its normal position by pulling on those tabs there. And then, like I said, you have multiple ways that you can close that door. Now, as we work our way to the driver's seat, this door panel is a really nice design. For the 25-year models, we have some upgraded interior materials compared to the previous model. You get memory seating adjustments, you have your automatic or power folding side mirrors. There's more storage in the middle and in the lower section there. And then as we work our way to these seats, I didn't really talk about the seats themselves. They have a great 2-tone design to them. They're also pretty comfortable seats too. Now for the steering wheel, we have the perforated design here. You have your cruise control, distance pacing on the right side there, along with mode and tuning. And then on the left side, you have volume, you have Bluetooth and voice commands, and then you have adjustments for the gauge cluster. So on the left side, you can see charge, eco, and power, and then on the right side, there's miles per hour. If you use these arrows, you can actually go through 3 different settings here and configure what you would like to see. So if I just push on OK, you can go through the center screen, you can scroll over to the right side, and then scroll over to the left side. So just depending on the info that you would like to see, you have those 3 shortcuts to configure that as needed. Now on this left side, you have a large storage bin where you can place some items. You have your dimmer switches and odometer. If you push on the view button, this is the 360 camera system that a lot of Toyota models have. So you can get that view before you move the vehicle, just have another view around the entire car. There's the heated steering wheel, the power for those outlets I showed. You have automatic headlights, your traction control, fuel cap release, and then this is for the power doors. So you can actually shut them off if you don't want to have that. There's the JBL audio. This also has a head-up display. It's showing your miles per hour, speed limit sign, eco, charge, and power. And then we have a very large infotainment system to go through. You have the navigation along with your music. You can get into your phone. You can also go through some of this climate information. You have the front and the rear, so that way you can adjust these from up front, which is really nice to have, especially if you have some young kids in the back. And then you have a lot of settings that you can go through just to customize this the way that you would like. Now underneath that, we have another LCD screen for all of your climates. You have your temperature, where you'd like the air to go, fan speed, you have sync, different modes. This even gets heated and ventilated front seats, along with some more physical buttons to go through all of that. Now underneath that, there's a USB-C along with wireless charging. This has the upgraded 5th gen charging unit, and then you have even more space over on that passenger side. So a really nice large tray there. There's 2 cup holders behind that. It looks like you could place your phone right here in front of that drink there, so you have a little ledge right there. If we put this into reverse, you have the backup camera with that top-down view. There's also drive and sport mode, so you can actually shift using the shifter if you needed to. Now behind that, there's your parking brake along with your auto hold. There's also an EV mode, so you can use that as needed. You can only use that at slow speed, so parking lot situations, things like that. There's also 3 different driving modes. You get Sport, Normal, and Eco. It's going to modulate the throttle response depending on how you would like to drive. And then you'll notice too, underneath all of these controls, there's a lot more storage. You even have another 12 volt, so you could place some large items, maybe a purse or something like that. You have a ton of storage where you can place items. You also get more of the wood trim right in the middle here. You can open up this where you have 2 cup holders. You do have a little bit of space in the front. Currently we have the key fob stored right there, so you could still place some drinks. And then you have an armrest on both sides, and if you push on this button, this is how you open up this storage bin, where you have a lot more space along with some USB-Cs where you can charge some items. Over on the passenger side, you have the locking glove box with plenty of space there. And then up top for the Platinum model, you have the digital 360 camera system. So you can use that as needed. You have multiple different settings that you can go through with garage door buttons on this side. We also have reviews on the GR Corolla, so check those out. So really nice, you get that added visibility because now you can't even see that Corolla in the back. Now we have clear view. Now you also have this mirror here, so that way you can see into that 3rd row. You have some dome lights as well as the adjustments for the sunshade and the sunroof. So you can tilt that, open that up as needed. And then here's a look at visibility. It's a long vehicle, but you can see around, and then obviously you have your side view mirrors as well as that 360 camera system if you need that added visibility. As we set off now behind the wheel for the all-new Toyota Sienna, this is a really cool minivan. I haven't been around this platform in quite some time, so it's really nice getting to see some of the new changes for the latest model year. We have a lot of options as well. You have a lot of different trim levels depending on what is going to suit you best, and a lot of cool options like that cool box and the vacuum as well. So for a vehicle like this, if you're buying a minivan in general, this is going to be a people hauler for you, something that's pretty practical as far as putting in a lot of cargo, and you have room for a lot of people as well. So it's a very versatile vehicle, one that you can also put a lot of items in with the seats down or out of the way. So if you need to use this for large items, you're doing housework, house projects, things like that, you have a pretty large back area there, basically like a pickup truck with an enclosed back end there. Turning radius is also impressive. Wow, we didn't even get off the pavement and didn't have to do a U-turn. So for a long vehicle like this, maneuverability is something that's also key because this is going to be in parking lots, at schools, things like that. Very, very nice and easy to maneuver, and you have plenty of visibility. Now for the quick test drive that I've been able to do today, handles well, seems very refined and solid feeling. So it's going to provide you with a comfortable ride and one that is a vehicle you're going to be driving every single day. So if you have this, you're going to be bringing people from point A to point B and just driving it a lot. So it feels like a very comfortable, solid vehicle to drive. Seats are very comfortable too. I like this armrest in the middle. Interesting design with the center being able to open and the armrests are fixed, but it gives you a good spot for your right side. You have a good spot for your left side here too. And with this sharp turn here, you know, it's a minivan, but handled pretty well there. And with my foot to the floor, we can get up and move. It's a big vehicle, but that seemed pretty adequate. So as we switch over to the POV angle, let's talk about the different driving modes and what you can experience. So we have the EV mode. When you push on EV mode, obviously you'll see the icon that says EV mode, and we're doing 20 miles an hour right now. So as I accelerate, we are past that speed of EV. So the EV mode is really neat. It's for parking lot situations, maybe pulling out of your driveway, something of a low speed like that. So it will work with the system at highway speeds, but if you just want the EV system alone, it looks like about 20 miles an hour is going to be your limit. And then we do have the 3 functional driving modes. There's the Eco, Normal, and Sport. And so from Sport mode, let's put it over into the Sport setting here, where we can go to second gear and give it an acceleration. Not all that responsive, which isn't surprising. I don't think most people are going to be using this as far as the upshifts go, but for the downshifts, it seems pretty responsive. So if you need to pass someone, you need to merge, you can quickly downshift. Looks like the upshift was a slight delay, but It's not a sports car, that's not really its intention, but you could use that. It's also helpful for holding a gear too. So I have it in S5 and we are slowing down. So it is still in 5. So as I speed up again, it's only going to accelerate into the 5th gear there. So if you happen to have a small trailer on the back, maybe you have the back cargo area weighted down with some heavy items and you want to hold the gear, that's what you can mainly use this for. So it is nice for a versatile vehicle like this that Toyota's given you some of those aspects just to make it drive a little bit nicer for those situations. Now this is where we made the U-turn with the other angle. So you can see it's 3 wide here, but with the steering wheel locked, we didn't even touch the grass. So very impressive to see. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Toyota Sienna. Definitely a nice view, nice place to be. We have small pillars up front, large windows there too. So you have great forward-facing visibility. And then handling is also pretty spot on. For a vehicle like this, you're going to feel some of the body roll. It's a taller vehicle, of course, but for the speeds that I'm going, it's taking these as you would expect for a vehicle like this. And the minivan is something that I don't have too much experience in. I'm not around these too often, but it looks like a very impressive people hauler, basically, with the reclining second row, which is honestly where you want to be. So you have your parents driving you around, you can just hop in the back and recline. Seems like a good place to be driven around in. And it's just it's a nice vehicle. I can see why people like this. If you need that extra sizing on the interior, it just makes it a lot easier too. Car seats, things like that, with the amount of space that you have, the different options with opening and closing the doors, just everything like that. On a day-to-day basis, those features really come into play and make it a lot more convenient and easier to use. So you have a great option with the all-new Sienna and a lot of great features that you can get in this vehicle. But that is going to wrap it up for the all-new 2025 Toyota Sienna Platinum. Once again, huge shout out to Toyota for inviting us out to this event and take a look at some of the new models that they have. So make sure you check out our channel to follow along with the rest of the GR content that we have uploaded. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.